I will be presenting actually a pilot study that we are performing in the context of our project, which is actually dedicated to the precision medicine interventions in Alzheimer's disease. This is a project that we have together with partners from Norway, Sweden, Netherlands, and Denmark. And we are, as part of that study, we are performing the small clinical trial, testing the potential validity of plasma p-tau181, as you said, for the individuals which are not referred to the memory clinic, but are invited as an open house initiative to join the project, meaning if they are in the right age, so between 55 and 80 years of old, and that they feel that they have recent onset of memory problems in the last 2 to 5 years, and have no known diagnosis of dementia or treatment for dementia, and no malignancy, no stroke, and contraindication for MRI or other procedures. We invite them to come to our screening visit, where we perform the screening interview, and then also the screening tests, and if we don't identify any mood problem either, so any other psychiatric condition that could influence the performance overall, then we ask them to agree on a withdrawal of blood sample, which is then sent to a lab to University of Oslo, and they perform the test on the p-tau plasma p-tau level, and in case of the level which is above the threshold, which was actually settled on their internal validation in their dementia trial, which is called DDI data set. So they have actually checked the CSF performance and p-tau levels in their own memory clinic group of patients in the past. So and then when we get for our individuals the results, which are showing that patients are above the normal in this p-tau181, we invite them for further CSF assessment, just to see how this concordance between the CSF amyloid positivity and the p-tau plasma test is reliable. And what we have seen from our analysis so far, so we have screened 147 subjects, and among them there were 62% who had plasma p-tau above the screening cutoff, and all those proceeded to the CSF assessment, and we saw that there is interesting there are interesting results in the CSF, which led us also to further thinking that it's obviously needed to have a probability model. We included also the APOE status of these patients, and we saw that if we use the strict criteria of this threshold level, for example, if we so we decided to choose among 85, 90%, and 95% specificity threshold. And if we would use the CSF results with a stringent 95 specificity threshold, we would have very low rate of Aβ positivity. Based on our CSF results in this first group that we tested, when we used the 95% specificity threshold, we got a low number of positive patients, and these results demonstrate that about 50%. There is a 50% concordance between plasma p-tau181 and the CSF Aβ positivity. So we expected before we started and before we realized all these differences. Of course, we expected that this might be a higher concordance, but we plan to continue, of course, in the same manner. But it seems that maybe it will be needed that maybe different species of p-tau would be more relevant to test in the same samples, and to see whether we can get maybe a different or more reliable levels of concordance in the population. Definitely, it is also very important that these are not people who are referred to the memory clinic. They came by their own self-referral. Of course, our aim was to choose those who have the subjective information of their cognitive problems in the recent time, and in whom we didn't identify any other potential explanation for their cognitive subjective problems. It will be interesting to see how these people who participated in our study, what are the differences between their psychological performance. Also, of course, we know that subjective feeling of cognitive decline or cognitive problems depends also on several issues, and of course we will have also the information on their initial state of education, on their current age. They are actually all according to the screening tests. They have scores on the screening tests that are in normal range, meaning in MMSE, and in MMSE this is 28.6 points on average, and on MoCA 26.4. These are all normal, still normal results, and it's actually just saying that they are comparable between each other, but still we don't have this more in detailed information so far.